Good morning, everyone, and welcome to One Yard Wednesday. Thank you for saying hey and letting us know where you're from. It's always fun to know who's watching and where you're from. Thank you for the person who said that they're a first timer. We love to know that and want to welcome new people. Top of mind this morning is how Gudrun is doing, and for all of you, I'm sure after the Tipsy Tuesday last night, you got an update from her. And Mr. GP, do you want to just say how she's doing?
She's in Norway.
Okay.
And she's doing good.
All right. Well, thank you for all the well wishes, and I know she'll keep us posted. She's got a very busy teaching week, which sounds like a lot of fun for her and a lot of fun for all of those participants in those classes and lectures. Wow. So anyway, like I said, thank you for all the well wishes for her and the extended Iceland family and citizens, and we'll keep them in our thoughts for sure. So welcome to One Yard Wednesday. This is our weekly show where we talk about fun and creative ideas, and today's ideas are ideas we have not done before to use with fabulous fabrics at fantastic prices. So we have a collection today called Listen to Your Heart. This was a bundle club collection, GP, a while ago, and we have some really fun fabrics remaining in that collection that we want to share with you. So just a reminder, the fabrics prices will be live at the end of the show, so sit back, relax, put your feet up, sip your favorite beverage, and the prices will be live when we are finished. So you can shop at that point. Also, don't forget to go back and look at fabrics from previous shows. Look at that whole One Yard Wednesday collection. And there's still some really wonderful fabrics out there, including some that came from Color Club. So check those out.
We've restocked a few of them too.
We did just restock a few. Thank you to the warehouse. Shout out to the warehouse. So should we talk about the quilts on the set, GP? Let's look at the one behind you first. The quilt behind Mr. GP is strip ribbons, and we love strip ribbons. This is the pattern we're using for the Barbie quilt. You'll see that finished tomorrow on Perfect Pairing Show. This is the fabric that we are talking about today. It's the Listen to Your Heart fabric, which we really love. The quilt behind me I chose because it's flannel, and we will be showing a lot of flannel today. This is Steamy Windows Supersized, and when our patterns get supersized, the blocks get bigger, and this goes together so well and so easily. This bundle is called Snow Day. It's flannel, like I said, and the bundle would be enough to make, I think, a full-size snow day. We'll look at that pattern before we close today. I'm thinking I need to make this. I've got some Christmas gifts I need to make. So let's move on to I've Got a Question. Thank you to our creative team, Carrie and Beth, for all of the fun bells and whistles in the show. And they make me look like I'm really pensive and smart, which, I don't know, maybe I'm not all that pensive. I'm usually moving fast. So the question today is, how is flannel made? What do fabric manufacturers do to fabric to give it that nap? We'll talk about that later on. So let's see. Let's go ahead and get started looking at the projects we made today out of this fabric. Let's do that first. The first project is the one I'm wearing. It is a really fun vest, and I'll take it off later so you can see the whole thing. And it's the Listen to Your Heart flannel that I'm going to show, and then I simply put a binding around it. In the blog today will be the link to the free pattern. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But, you know, Mr. GP is wearing a vest today. Vests are in. Mr. HP is sporting a GE original design vest, wearing that all around the world and getting a lot of attention. So we decided to jump on that garment bandwagon and do some garments for this show. So the vest is the first garment. And thank you to Karn for the second garment, which is these soft pants. So she said this is, oh, and look there is Michael wearing the soft pants. They're a little roomy for him, but hey, he said he could easily make himself a bowl of popcorn and watch TV wearing those soft pants. They look good on him. So thanks again to Karn for making these. Grab your favorite pants pattern, or there are lots of pajama pants. The elastic waist is always handy and easy to do, and we'll put a couple ideas for that on the blog as well. So that's our second item, what the kids are calling soft pants. Why do I picture GP in a minky vest? Oh yeah, I do. What do you think?
I like it.
You like it? We'd have to hand pick the right one. Finally, look at this. This is a body pillow, and I don't usually wear garments that match my home deck, but hey, this I would look so cozy in this at home. This is a 50-inch by 20-inch pillow, and I just made myself a great big pillowcase with the flap, the envelope finish in the back. So how fun is this? And I did use the flannel on this. I also oversized it because I don't want this to be real firm. I want this to be soft and easygoing. So here is the third idea from this fun flannel. Well, we've teased you enough with the fabric. Maybe we should go ahead and take a look at it. The first fabric I want to show you is the Listen to Your Heart flannel. It's called Painted Prairie, and I really love this. These are art gallery fabrics, so you'll know that what you're getting is first class quality fabrics in the flannels as well as the cottons. We've got the Painted Prairie flannel in 1 yard lengths as well as 3 yard lengths. So the 3 yard lengths are going to be roughly 42 inches by 108 inches. And so if you got 2 of those, that would be 108 by 108. That would be a really beautiful large backing for a quilt. Maybe you don't even need that much, but what a beautiful backing this would be. I also think this would be fun to take and put as a backing to a piece of cuddle. I've done this before where I've used flannel on one side and cuddle on the other, and it's just luscious and luxurious and so warm. So this is the Painted Prairie flannel in the flannel. Next up, we have the Painted Prairie in cotton, and how pretty is this? We have this in 1 yard as well as 3 yards, and you can see the luster and the nice finish to the cotton version of this fabric. Oh, I would love this too. The next up, we have another one of the Listen to Your Heart collection, and it is called Floron, and it is just a really pretty floral with this fun aqua background that you'll see in the other prints, and just so pretty. And then the final fabric we have is the diagonal stripe. We talk about stripes a lot, and we particularly love the diagonal stripe. And how you can see the diagonal stripe in strip ribbons, which is behind GP. And it's just a fun way to use a stripe, and then you're not going to be afraid that those stripes aren't lining up right. Now, I love all of these, and I pulled a couple of other pieces, a couple of 1 yards that would go with these, because it's a beautiful collection, but we want to round it out a little bit. So for my vest, I wanted to do a binding on my vest. So I pulled Dimple's Sinopia. Isn't that pretty? That really luscious orange from this collection. I thought that was really fun. Now, I would have liked the diagonal stripe, but just a reminder that when I'm, when I'm binding something that has all these rounded edges, I needed to do that on the bias. So a bias stripe on the bias would just be a stripe, and that didn't appeal to me as much. So Dimples Sinopia. This is a similar color. This is one of last week's 1 Yard Wednesdays. So this is a $7.99 a yard fabric, as are all of these. So look at how great this one goes with all of these. Listen to your heart. I also chose a Dimples Persimmon if you wanted to go a little bit lighter orange and not so blood red. And finally, in the orange side, I chose Floral Elements Victorian Brick. And you can see that Victorian brick in this floral as well. So these are, of course, I'm going to say my favorites, but just think of these as inspirations. I pulled a couple greens as well, and I pulled Deco Stitch Topiary, and I like that with some of the greens in here, as well as the darker greens, as well as Deco Stitch Morning Moss. So that's more of a true green, but it has all of these nice varieties of value in here, which make Deco Stitch so much fun. And then if you wanted to pull a flannel to throw into the mix, I have Canvas Peacock, and I think Canvas Peacock might be my favorite. Now, if you got yourself a 3 yard length of the flannel and one of these 1 yards, you'd have yourself for sure you'd have 3 pillowcases, and wouldn't that be pretty? Also in the canvas flannel, I pulled Pine Needles, and I like that green with the diagonal stripe, with all of these florals. So those are our fabrics, and a pull of fabrics that I think are really nice collaborators with this. Particularly, don't forget the Textile Ember Glow, which is a 1 Yard Wednesday fabric from last week. So there we go. 1 Yard Wednesday, week after week. All righty. Should we talk about my notion? Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, thank you. Thank you, producer and director GP. In addition to the flannels that are here and the cottons that are here, the flannel mystery bundles are on sale at this point too. Flannel mystery bundles are 6 half yards of flannel, and they are marked down from $33, I think, to $30. So how fun would these be? The flannel mystery bundles. So grab yourself a couple of those. Thanks, GP. All righty. Is it time for I've Got a Notion? I've got a notion. My notion today is the Blade Saver thread cutter. And the one I have today is green, although we have it in lots of different colors. Let me show you how this works. The Blade Saver thread cutter is a fun tool that will hold, this particular Blade Saver will hold a 45 millimeter rotary blade. So when your blade gets so that it might have a ding in it, or it might not be as sharp enough to cut fabric any longer, you can put it in this Blade Saver by opening this up, and the blade will go between these 2 pieces of plastic. I can show you that. And then comes with this cute little screwdriver. So now I'll open this up, lay my 45 millimeter blade in here, put this on top, and then I will close this up. And the fun thing about this is it will cut my threads when I'm chain piecing. So if I'm doing something like steamy windows behind me, I'll do a lot of chain piecing, and this will cut my threads really slick. I always have one of these at my sewing machine and my ironing board. So I don't want to bore you with watching me screw this in, but that would be my next step. And then finally, I will put this in the stand, and then I can just go grab my pieces and cut my threads, and it's super slick. Also, it travels well. Obviously, I can pull this out, open this up, and it has a nice magnet that will hold it closed. So I can throw this in my sewing travel bag, and I'm ready to go. So that's our Blade Saber thread cutter for this week. Sure. What do I do with the tiny screwdriver to store it? I have a place in my sewing room where I have a few tools, and so this is in my sewing room toolbox because I don't want to lose it. You're right, and so I wish it were made, frankly, just a little bit bigger so that it would fit in here. But as you can see, not so much. Maybe the next iteration of this, they'll take our suggestion. But I do have a sewing room toolbox, and that's where my little screwdriver is. That's my notion. All right. So should we look closer at my vest for just a minute, GP? Okay. So my vest is inside out at this point because I want to show you the inner workings. I took 2 layers, as you can see, of the painted prairie flannel, and I used our Quilt As You Go batting for this. I love the weight of it. It's just right for a project like this. When I'm doing something like this where I'm quilting fabric, I will often quilt it on the diagonal, and that's just because then when I'm lining up my pieces, I'm not worried that the quilting is going straight or horizontal or vertical or whatever. Now it lines up really well, interestingly, but it's just coincidence. The quilting on the diagonal is actually easiest for me to do. I use my walking foot on my baby lock, as well as the bar that helps me keep these distances straight, the quilting bar. And then I finished my inside seams with a 1 1/4 inch piece of flannel, sewed that down right sides together, and then brought it around and top stitched it. I did that on the sides as well as on the shoulder. And then finally, I made myself some bias binding, and the binding I cut was 2 inches in this fun Dimples orange. And as I do with most of my binding, I sew it on the wrong side and then bring it around and top stitch it. And you can see why I need the bias here, because I get these nice round curves, even though it's because it's bias binding. So those are my tips for the vest. So let's talk about the question. I Googled, how is flannel made? Well, it's kind of an interesting process, and there's some great videos and pictures online. Basically, the process includes a machine that has wire bristles that actually rubs and breaks, raises the threads on the flannel, and it makes that soft nap feeling. One thing to think about in terms of using flannel, because it has a nap, it may have a directionality to it, even if the print isn't directional. So when I'm using flannel, I always assume that it's a directional print and keep the pieces of flannel in the same direction top to bottom, because like I said, the flannel, the nap can give you that illusion of directionality under certain lights and so on. So that's just my my way of keeping myself paying attention to the nap. So I do the same thing with cuddle. If I'm putting two pieces together, we want the nap to be going in the same way. So that's my tip for sewing on flannel. Sure. Is dimple a regular cotton? Absolutely. Yep, dimples is a regular cotton, and we have it in lots of colors, and it really is a beautiful. It is a beautiful blender. You can see just how pretty. How much fabric for a body pillow? My body pillow is 51 by 20, so I pulled a 3-yard length, so I would have enough length to not have to piece it. And then I did an overlap on that envelope on the back of about 10 inches because I didn't want the pillow to be coming out of that place where I overlapped the backing. So the 3-yard, it was my choice for that. All right. Well, let's review the fabrics, and then we'll talk about the patterns that we have in front of us today as well. And so let's start where we ended with the stripe. This is the diagonal stripe from Listen to Your Heart, and we really love it. Thank you, GP. We'll remind ourselves to look at the bundles too. And then we have the floral, which is called Floron, and it really is pretty. These two together are really gorgeous. I love the tone of green that is the background in Floron. And then we have Listen to Your Heart, the painted prairie, and we have that in cotton, which again, these are art gallery fabrics, so they're so yummy. We have the cotton in 1 yard and 3 yard. And the 3 yards are just a reminder how convenient the 3 yards are when you're doing a backing. And then finally we have the painted prairie in the flannel. Look, and it is a beefy flannel. Look at this 1 yard of cotton and 1 yard of flannel. It's a really nice flannel. So there's the 1 yard of the flannel, and then of course the 3 yard of the flannel. And don't forget that we have a special price on mystery bundles. So if you love mysteries and you would like to just put something together that's really different and unique, you could grab yourself some mystery bundles, 6 half yards in there, and they're $30. And we always, when we're pulling more than one mystery for the same customer, we do our best to really mix those up so you don't get too identical. They might share one, but like I said, we do our best to mix those up for you. Should we look at the patterns for our projects today? The first one I want to show you is the pattern for my vest. It's called Quilted Wool Vest, and like I said, we will have the link in our blog, so you can link to that. And it's really easy to do, and just be sure when you print this, you print it at 100%. And there is a 1-inch test square on here. I don't see it, and I'm not going to search for it now. But you want to be sure that you printed it to the proper scale. Behind Mr. GP, we have strip ribbons, which is such a fun quilt. And isn't that fun? If you haven't done strip ribbons, I really encourage you. We, as a team, did strip ribbons in the Barbie fabric, and you wait till you see that on the Perfect Pairing show tomorrow. And then behind me is the Steamy Windows Supersized. And the Supersized means that it's bigger blocks, and these go together so quickly, and it's so much fun. So for a full size, you would need 24 fat quarters, which would be which you would get out of this snow day bundle. Now, the Snow Day bundle is not on a 1 Yard Wednesday discounted price, but I wanted to show it to you because I think it's so spectacular. So there's strip ribbons, steamy windows, our blade saver, our patterns, and all kinds of fun inspiration. Did I forget anything? Oh my gosh. Well, thanks so much for watching us and comments and questions. We love that. Next week, we have a fun Christmas project, and it'll be fun and easy, and you'll be able to get that done in time for the holidays, I promise you. And we have other things coming up that are all, always fun all the time. So 2 more shows this week. Tomorrow, the Nancy and Kara will be here for the Perfect Pairing Show, and I can't wait for you to see the Barbie quilt, and they'll tell you all about that. They'll tell you all about Heldora, and they'll tell you all about their upcoming project, which is really fun. And I'm not sure what the treat is, but I can't wait to see that too. Friday, we will have we'll have Happy Friday here in Studio A, I think, and it will be a guest host or 2 or 3, and some videos that Gudrun recorded for us. So thanks for watching. We love you and appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.